Just one thing. I see there seems to be some guest. I mean, and you know the problem with this is that on these platforms, and I'd like you to engage with him, so it's not just myself. We get a lot of spammers, a lot of time wasters, a lot of pro-Zionists, a lot of fanatics that come on, and I see there seems to be someone called Prima Scripture or Soldier, someone called Soldier of Christ. We have Soldier of Christ there. Is Soldier of Christ here?
Yeah, my brother. You don't know me. I know the owner of the channel. So
you know the owner of the channel, but you
yeah,
call
so
yourself
wait.
Soldier of Christ.
Wait.
Are you a violent individual? What's your name?
Wait, bro. Listen, slow down. I'm just here to ask a question. I and Shoaib, I've been on this channel a lot doing its different segments. So I listen in from time to time. I've listened to you. So don't call me what you don't know me if you never spoke to me before.
Okay, well let me call you by your name. What's your name?
You can call me you can call me Prima, no problem. That's what it says.
Is that your name? Is your name Prima? Is your name Prima?
Yeah. We can run with it. I just got 2 questions to ask because I've listened to you.
Clarify one thing: is your name Prima Scriptura? Why are you afraid of giving your name, brother? Call yourself John. Call yourself Jesus.
Brother, you're gonna respect what I tell you my name is or not? Because
why are you afraid to give it?
I'm not here for the antics, as I said. I've been on show.
There's no antics. I'm just asking.
Well, then listen. Listen to what I gotta say. I tell you, my name is Prima.
I'll listen to what you gotta say. Right. What's your name, brother? Can I ask
told you my name is Prima. If you don't believe it, well then okay, I can leave.
Prima Scriptura means only Scripture. Is that your name? Is your name only Scripture? Soldier of Christ. Is that your name? I just asked your name. It's a decent thing to introduce yourself. Tell us your name. You don't have to trust your. You don't have to show us your mug. You don't have to show your face.
Man, this is stupid, man.
Okay, then go ahead. Go ahead with your question, Prima Scriptura. Go ahead.
Right. It's gonna listen. It's simple. I've been on this channel a lot, so just chill. So my question is, right, on the basis of what I've heard you speak about a lot in terms of the genocide allegations and also the war crimes, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I've heard you speak on it a lot. I've listened. I've always come on this channel and always listen. And I've heard you,
thank you,
make your points and your pointers on it. And I'm not speaking exactly to the point in terms of the Palestinians and the Jewish, the war that's going on. But my criterion, it really relates to, in terms of what you've been saying, in terms of does the war between Israel and Hamas meet the criterion of war crimes and genocide based on what you have articulated? And if that's the case, right, could you tell me what's the main criterion for you saying that so many times? At least I just want to be clear, and I have one other question, and then I'm out. So no big problem.
So you're asking me the question, or you're asking Brother Tom?
No, I'm asking you because I've heard you speak on it before. So what's the essential criterion? Because you said it just about 5 minutes ago. What's the essential criterion for the charge that Israel should occur for war crimes or genocide?
Okay, no, there's no war. Well, war crimes are one thing. There's no debate on the fact that war crimes are being committed. But what I would draw you, and I would probably send you the link and the article, because we had an entire forum and a discussion on that particular issue where have you seen the genocide application that was brought by the South African government?
I've seen part of when it was written up that you did speak on it, but I didn't watch the whole stream, but I saw you read out parts of it. So that's my question in a nutshell. What's then the criterion that we can charge Israel with the allegation of for the war crimes?
Well, basically, if you look at the entire definition of genocide, and this was basically, unpacked. I must just open the application for you. The 1948 United Nations Genocide Convention defined genocide as 5 acts committed, about approximately 5 acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. So those 5 acts are, and again, you asked me, I should have opened up the application, is I think from just
you can just I'll take your answer, whatever you say.
Let me answer your question. Killing members of the group, which is basically happening. Number 2, causing them serious bodily or mental harm. Number 3, imposing living conditions intended to destroy the group. Number 4, preventing births of children. And number 5, forcibly transferring children out of the group. So the victims of the genocide are either targeted because of either their real or their perceived membership of a group, but not randomly. So it's an intentional point committing of, that fulfills 5 particular acts. Now, if you look at the genocide application, which was brought by the South African government, they detail in detail systematically, as they made the case to the International Court of Justice, how Israel is not just simply committing those specific 5 acts, because you can commit 5 acts, but those 5 acts could also be incidental. But they also showed the particular aspect of intent, which is marked by the specific Latin phrase called dolus specialis. And they did that particularly in terms of where, for example, they showed statements of genocidal intent that are basically that were mentioned by leading figures within the Israeli military, by the prime minister, by members of the Knesset, by individuals like Smotrich, by individuals within the Israeli administration that are basically concerned with the military fortitude of the state of Israel. And they took that and they juxtaposed that to the actual actions that are being committed by the state of Israel. And on that particular point, what the International Court of Justice concluded, they haven't yet made a finding, but they concluded that my government, the South African government, has made what they call a prima facie case that Israel is plausibly committing genocide. So what that means, and we're talking purely on law, not on opinion here. What that means is that if someone, for example, is alleged to have committed murder, for a state to prosecute that specific individual, the state has to show at the very outset that there is a reasonable prospect of success, but more particularly that it has established a prima facie case that this individual has committed murder. Now, a prima facie case doesn't mean that that person will be convicted or it will be shown beyond reasonable doubt that he committed murder. But at the outset, what it does, it lays the foundation to say, this now is a grounds for prosecution, or this now is a grounds for further investigations in relation to that. So as it stands now, the International Court of Justice, which is the highest court globally, has made the determination, and you check the judgment, or either via Brother Mohammed, and I'm sorry if I was harsh with you. It's just that we had so many people that come on a platform that are negative. But I can send you both the judgment as well as the comprehensive, I think, 85-page application. And in the application and the judgment, the Judge Donahue, the American judge, together with, I think, about 13 or 13 out of 16 judges, the only exceptions were the Ugandan judge and the Israeli judge, but all the 13 judges stated that South Africa has indeed made out a plausible case that Israel is indeed committing genocide. Now, of course, that finding will only be determined, at a much later stage, eventually, when there are, proper assessments that are basically being done. But if you look at the application laid down by South Africa, they fulfilled, all those 5. There are 5 conditions. There are 5 acts that you have to commit with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, or racial or religious group. And even if one of those, even if one of those conditions are met, you can prove a case of genocide that is being committed. But in the case of Israel, the South African government showed that they committed all 5 acts, killing, causing serious bodily mental harm, imposing conditions, destroying the group, preventing births, forcibly transferring children, and more than that, the specific aspect of dolus specialis, which is there in relation to the particular aspect of intent, because you have to show intent. So when you juxtapose statements of genocidal intent, and then you compare them with what is going down on the ground where Israelis are killing people, not just bombing them, but summarily executing them in cold blood. For example, Israeli soldiers at the Jabalia refugee camp and other places, they are killing people in cold blood. So I think that, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, understood. No problem. So you're saying it's 5 acts. If one is committed, then, by default. Yeah. So here's my main question. In 2016, when Saudi Arabia bombed Yemen, and today we have over 100,000 people who have died. That country is war-torn and ravaged. Then can we say that we can put a case against Saudi Arabia for committing war crimes and genocide, since they would have committed one out of the 5?
I have no problem in saying that. I mean, look, I don't know what you think of me, but I'm not a fan of the Saudi state. I mean, the Saudi regime, including MBS himself, has engaged. If you followed the Khashoggi execution and the way it was conducted at the embassy in Istanbul, where they cut him up to pieces because he was speaking out against the regime, I have no problem in saying that. I have no problem in saying that the regime, in fact, engages in genocidal statement. I don't have a problem with that. But I mean, we've discussed Saudi Arabia in the past. I'm saying let's maintain a consistent standard here.
My honest reason for asking the question is that a lot of people tend to forget based on a news cycle and a narrative, and I tend to be very open-minded, and I don't have a dog in the race. I'm not against anybody. I'm not against for no war. I'm just plainly not a war person. But what people tend to forget, before 2 years ago, Yemen was at the forefront, right, of even the UN's radar in terms of what was being done and the amount of kids that have been killed, right?
Yeah.
In that particular country and region, right? To the point where it's totally war-torn and ravaged. And while it is, I see people argue against this really mainly from a Islamic narrative. I tend to say, well, I got no problem with that, but let's be fair and call a jack and a spade when there have been atrocities done by numerous other entities across various times. I'm not pinpointing, but I'm just saying that for the nuance of it, the last one was actually the Saudis. So that's my main point. And because people tend to forget, and I tell them, I say, listen, this is not, if you want to check it out, ask them who the Saudis buy all their fighter jets from. Ask them who they buy all of their stuff from. The very same people that are protesting in the very same countries, and the same Saudis are buying it.
They are backed by the United States and the United Kingdom. Sir, I don't like calling you prima scriptura, but it's
you can call me prima for sure.
United Kingdom and the United States. But let me just point this out. Yeah, let me just give you one example. I would have no problem speaking out against the Saudi government, and I do that all the time in discussions, particularly in the political context of the Middle East. The issue that you've got is that when you are attempting to draw what I would say a whataboutism, whereby you are attempting to basically have a kind of a sort of an equivocation. And here's the problem that I've got with that, because if you look at the armed conflict in Yemen, it certainly has resulted in a massive humanitarian crisis in the world. But even according to the Yemen Data Project, from I think sometime in 2020, and the World Report in 2020, they gave the figures and the statistics from 2015 to 2020 as a result of the air raids that were being committed on women and children by the Saudi government. And they gave the figures from 2015, March 2015, which is when, that time where it basically started, right up till August 2019, 2020, that approximately 17,500 to 20,000 civilians were killed in a span of 5 years. Israel has killed and mass murdered 40. No, let me finish the point. Israel has mass murdered 40,000 men, women, and children in a space of 9 months. So I'm saying that if you want to have this whataboutism about Saudi Arabia, and I'm not a fan of the Saudi government, I don't like MBS. I think he needs to be removed from power. I don't think he's representative of my faith or of Islam or of me. But if you want to draw kind of a moral equivocation in terms of what Israel is doing and say, look on the other side, what Saudi Arabia is doing, I'm saying the number of civilians killed in Yemen, which is bad enough, and it's created about 20 million people are experiencing food security, and 10 million of them are at risk of famine. But the number of people that were killed in 5 years was 20,000, or approximately 20,000. Contrast that with 40,000.
No, I think the figures are a little bit higher, but I'll quote your number for now.
By the Israelis.
Yeah, no. I think your figures are a little bit. I think the figures are. No, wait.
You say my figures are wrong. I'm giving you the World Report from 2020. I'm giving you Human Rights Watch. You want me to share you? I'll share the Human Rights Watch report with you.
Yes,
I'll share the human. I'm saying let's deal with facts here because you attempted. And let me give you another example in Ukraine.
Are you saying that you know every specific?
Let me finish one point. And then you can speak.
Let me speak
in Ukraine, which has been described as a genocide, wrongly so, by the West against Putin, only 200, and bad enough, but only 200 children have been killed since the war started till now in Ukraine. And there's about 10 to 11,000 civilians that have been killed by the Russians in Ukraine in a span of 2 to 3 years. Now, contrast that with the situation that, so if we condemn, let's say, okay, fair enough, I'll condemn Russia and I'll condemn Saudi Arabia. And I've been candid with you and I say, let's maintain.
No, so listen, I didn't go down that. Wait, let me.
In light of what I've said, will you condemn
you're going down a road that I didn't travel. So here's my point that I brought.
No, but will you condemn Israel in light of what I just said?
Listen to this is my point I went at. I said I wasn't going, I'm not into the war. I'm a person of peace. So me citing Yemen as an example was just based on the criterion for being charged for it. And this is my point. Yemen is an Islamic country and Saudi is an Islamic country. And so there are people who are globally who are in sympathy for what is being done. So where you understand it from me being an outsider, I have no dog in the race. I have no persuasion. It's really nothing for me. I'm not trying to equivocate the numbers. All I just said, as far as, some of the UN numbers, they can be arguable. I can accept it, fine, no problem. But I would say people on the ground would say it's much higher than that. And I'm not here to argue that. So I'm just saying, if that's their numbers.
Context.
So listen. So
are you saying that what Saudi Arabia did in Yemen, which is bad enough, is on the same level? Okay,
no, I'm not comparing levels. I'm only using criterion for charges.
So what's your criterion condemning Israel?
No, I use your criterion.
So
I didn't say. So no, I didn't disagree with you. So listen,
I condemn Saudi Arabia. Will you condemn Israel?
That's my point. So I went with your criterion. Whatever you say, I'm agreeing. But here's what I'm saying: if we're going to agree on that, just months before, or even up to now, Yemen was the biggest issue that the world had to deal with in terms of their situation. So I'm not trying to equivocate numbers.
Why are you leaving Syria out? Well, why you've left Syria out?
Well, no, listen, you can use, I said, listen, you can use many other examples from many around the places.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so,
you weren't listening to me.
We're in agreement. I'm happy we're in agreement, soldier of Christ. So now will you condemn Israel for what it's doing?
Well, I'm using your criterion. If you said there are five,
use my criteria. Then use my criteria to condemn Israel. Will you condemn Israel?
Listen, you listening to what I said?
Wait. No, hold on.
You're listening to what I'm
exposing your hypocrisy, soldier of Christ. Now you're exposing your hypocrisy.
Are you listening to what?
Carefully.
Listen, I ain't here to argue my brother.
This is the hypocrisy that I have. This is the hypocrisy.
Listen,
This is the hypocrisy, because I'm asking you to when the leaders of Israel make statements of genocidal intent, when Netanyahu says we will do to the Palestinians, and when he invokes Amalek. When he invokes Amalek, will you condemn him for invoking Amalek?
That wasn't my point. I came up.
So what was your point then? What was your point? You came
on the platform, but you're not listening. You just want to talk. If you listen to me, because I've listened to you.
Channel, I can talk as much as I want. I've called you on.
If I'm your guest,
I've called you on. I've called you on. Why are you running away now? I've called you on. Has he left?
Listen, you can throw me. Yeah. You can throw me out if you want.
I didn't throw you out. I don't have control over the channel. I didn't throw you out.
Yeah, I think they throw me out. No problem. No, normally I don't last long.
I didn't throw you out.
But here's my point. I told you, and listen to me. I listened to all that you said. You went on for a long period. I didn't interrupt you. All I'm saying is this: my question was on the basis of having a standardized criterion, and I'm agreeing with you. If you said Israel did 1 out of the 5. and that's the criterion. I went with, and I'm agreeing. So I'm not disagreeing with you, but you want me to come out and condemn or say something in support of you. That's not what I came to do. My only point was to say, okay, do we have a criterion, and can we use that criterion throughout other events that has happened around the world, that it doesn't even self-relate to whether it be Islam or Judaism, but we have a situation where it's actually Islam and it's Islam, and it's just from a humanitarian point. So that was just my basis of asking the question. I wasn't here to say compare numbers and all that kind of no. My thing is, we have a criterion. I'm agreeing with your criterion, and I'm saying, okay, I'm agreeing with it. But
okay, that's fine. So I want. Okay, that's fine. So we're in agreement there, and I'm happy with that. So what's your view now when Israeli soldiers are shooting dead in execution style?
My brother.
No. I'm asking you a question. Now you don't want to. What's your response? How do you respond when Israeli soldiers?
No, listen.
No. Hold on. I need to ask you. How would we deal? I want a solution when Israeli.
I don't have a solution, but I don't live there. You hear my language?
As evil. No. But as a soldier of Christ,
listen. You hear how I speak?
No. As a soldier of Christ, will you condemn that as evil?
Listen.
When Israeli soldiers, for example,
I do not live
children, will you condemn that as evil? You've seen the videos, right? Where I've showed you, and we've showed in past streams, where Israeli soldiers shoot dead Palestinians, not just bombing from the top, but they're executing them. They, for example, outside the hospitals, they execute them when people are leaving the hospital, or when they go to a safe zone.
You're gonna ask me the question and then talk.
Okay, so answer that.
I don't know.
Okay, answer. I'll stop talking. Answer that.
I don't know. This doesn't work for me, and I'm telling you, right?
What doesn't work for you?
No, because you keep talking. If you want to talk, no problem. I could bounce. I got no problem with that. You answer my question.
I asked you a question. Let's talk together. I asked you a question.
Right. Well. Allow me the courtesy to speak. That's all.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm good to go. I could leave. Right.
Okay.
So here's been my premise, and this is what I'm trying to tell you. I have no dog in the race. I've not experienced anything that these people have experienced, whether from on the Jewish side or from on the Palestinian side, right? And for years we have heard about peace, and these people have been striving for peace on either side. We don't know who's lying. We don't know which one is real, what to believe, right? And you hear one narrative and you hear the next. So from your perspective, you could bring me all of the pictures, and then from the Israeli perspective, they can bring their videos and their stuff. And I'm saying,
there's no pictures from the Israeli perspective.
Let me finish.
Why are you not answering my question?
Well, let me finish. You're gonna let me speak or not? Anyhow,
I'll let you speak, but I want a clarification. Don't run away. Don't run away. Don't run. Why are you running? Is he